Hey friends, it's Cammy. I'm here on the bed again because I still don't know where the cord for my ring light is, but the sun is still here for now. Oh, this is the camera gear bag where I put all the things associated with video production, so I don't lose them. Why would the power cord to the light I use to make videos be in the bag where I put video production things? So I don't lose them. Oh, would you look at that? That's better. Don't worry about why I'm dressed up. I'll probably mention it later. I'm writing a novel. I think I said that last time. Hey friends, it's Cammy. I'm writing a novel, sort of. Yep, that's what I said. Maybe I should try for something different this time. We don't want all the videos to be the same and lose some of that sweet, sweet originality engagement. Hey friends, it's Cammy. I'm writing a novel. For real. Nailed it. Completely different. Novelty maintained, audience engagement level up. So about the novel thing, we're going to talk a lot about the ideas and the plot and what's already been written and all that. But first, some context. Last time, no, I'm pointing to a YouTube card, not a clip from the last episode. There it is. I talked about being an author and about how I don't feel like a human being when I'm not writing. I mean, not in those words, but you get my point. I'm going to be talking a bunch about writing this book in future episodes and turning the writing into a bit of a community experience. That'll help you keep up on the progress, offer feedback, and keep me accountable so the damn thing actually gets written. I put forth four. I have a stutter. Why did I think I could say that correctly? 4 different novel ideas and asked for a vote on what you would like to see. These ideas were a modern cyberpunk thriller called Singularity Rising, a cosmic horror anthology with the working title Strange Eons, a hard sci-fi dystopian future Jupiter with the incredibly inventive working title of Cyberpunk Jupiter, and finally, a fantasy epic about King Arthur called The Rise and Fall of the House of Pendragon. And with all the votes tallied, the winner is... Drumroll, please. Drumroll? Drumroll? Anyone? Bitch better have my drum roll. Whatever. The winner's Strange Eons with a whopping 100% of the vote. I mean, there was only one vote, but that still counts as a clean sweep. Thanks, Maddie. If you didn't vote or forgot or whatever, it's okay. We're still friends. Let's talk book. Real quick, Strange Eons is a terrible title and I will absolutely be changing it. It's uninspired and far too derivative. Okay, plot. It's a collection of stories and novellas that each stand on their own, but when read together tell a larger story similar to the structure of Ray Bradbury's Martian Chronicles. Except instead of the colonialism allegory, it's more an exploration of dread and the futility of the human experience. So, the kind of cheery stuff you expect from me. The book is a series of 10 stories and novellas, with the novellas being 3 or 4 chapters each, so about the length of a typical novel altogether. I've written 6 of these 10 stories and published all but one of them, though some of the old ones need to be reworked a touch. The one story that hasn't been published, The Herald of the King, is up on Patreon right now, and these lovelies get to read it. All of the stories take place in Lovecraft Country, which is the fictional places that he created for his stories, like Dunwich and Innsmouth and Arkham, and if you're familiar, you're familiar, I guess. Let's do a story-by-story breakdown. The order of these may change a bit. The cheery stuff begins with Divide by Zero. In a blasted wasteland where the remnants of humanity are barely surviving in a dead world, we find out over the course of the story that we've been in the heart of Lovecraft Country the whole time. And the reason the world was destroyed is because the old ones rose and fought in a kind of WrestleNomicon mania or whatever. I don't know, I don't watch wrestling. Up next is The Loss of Innocence, where a duo of ghost hunters after hours in an elementary school stumble across a kind of madness infecting the area. After that is The Playbill. A man with a dream to renovate and open an old opera house in a small town finds a playbill for an old production called The King in Yellow. Reading the playbill drives him a bit mad. The Lords of Innsmouth tells the story of a travel reporter who visits a creepy coastal town and gets embroiled in a centuries-long conflict between the old families of the town, and there's a cult, and gunfights, and mass suicide. It's a happy little tale of a novella. An astrophysics professor at Miskatonic University studies the supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy in Sagittarius. There's madness and cosmic music and madness and fires and madness and cats. Herald of the King, readable now on Patreon, is about a real estate developer trying to build a housing development in the Blasted Heath, which is a sort of badlands that's been left undeveloped. When he visits the project to get to the bottom of the recent delays, they find something in an old farmstead that drives everyone into murderous rages. Like you do. Okay, so stories I still need to write. Flight 763 tells the story of a mother and daughter on a flight from New Zealand to California whose plane goes down over the Pacific. They find themselves adrift near Point Nemo, a real place that's pretty cool if you're into bleak isolation. You should look it up. Before long, a flotilla of weird boat people show up, and then an island rises up out of the ocean. The coming storm is about a woman who wakes up from a coma only to find that her body has been awake and active for the years that she's missing. As she tries to retrace her steps and find out what it was she was doing, she also starts having strange dreams of being trapped in an alien body. It turns out she was researching the strange events that had been plaguing the world. All the chaos and madness and burning and suicides and such. She believes the aliens were some kind of researchers from the past writing a future history of current events. Following that is Terror Antarctica. A research group in Antarctica uncovers an ancient plant, but it turns out to be sentient, and a whole bunch of these things have been buried in the ice for millions of years. She then uncovers frescoes carved by these future historians from the last story. It turns out a group of cosmic beings called the Great Old Ones are awakening, and they will go to war with one another, destroying the world in the process. The final story is The Night the Lights Went Out in Arkham, about a frightened National Guard soldier stationed in Arkham as the world seems to be coming apart around him. Until the final night, when the alien entities finally arrive and everyone is powerless to stop them because now the stars are right. Maybe I could call the whole thing The Fault in Our Stars. For serious though, you should read John Green's book. It's great. And yes, I know it's a Shakespeare quote. I was a lit major. Oh, hey, maybe I can name my book after a Shakespeare quote. He is white-livered and red-faced. Many a good hanging prevents a bad marriage. No, oh, that one's terrible. She adulterates hourly. Nope, I don't like that one either. My mom got me this little book, Shakespeare, The Bard's Guide to Abuses and Affronts. I never thought I would have the opportunity to use it, but now I do. Anyway, what are your thoughts on these stories or the book as a whole? This is a community experience, remember? I don't know when this book will be finished. I usually put out about a chapter a month, and it looks like it'll be around 22 chapters, and I've written 11 so far, which means the book will probably be done around next fall, hypothetically. You probably won't see me again before the end of the year because seasonal depression, and it's December and it gets dark at 4 fucking p.m., robbing me of what little vitamin D I do get, plus the fucking holidays forcing a cheery facade across the capitalist hellscape that is rapidly killing us all. Anyway, thanks for being my friend. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a wedding to attend. My mommy's getting married.